guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the highly anticipated Death Note movie. It is a Netflix original up on Netflix as of Friday, and we're just going to talk about my thoughts on the movie. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and that notification bell, and let's get into it. Alright, a few things first. I'm going to try to do this as spoiler-free as humanly possible. I know that the anime and manga have been around for a really long time, and a lot of people have probably seen it, but not everybody has. So I'm going to try my best to keep this spoiler-free. And a couple announcements. After this video goes live, I will officially be on vacation. I do have a couple pre-filmed videos that are going to be going up on the channel, but I will be on vacation, so I won't probably really be able to respond to comments. You probably won't see me on Instagram or my Facebook page, things like that. So don't think I've died, don't think I'm ignoring you. I'm on vacation. And then when I get back from vacation, I'm moving, literally the week after I get back from vacation. So that is happening, but the channel's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Just hang tight with me for the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a little crazy. And last but not least, I have a neighbor, I think, moving in upstairs in my apartment building, and they're being like hella loud, and I've been waiting for hours for them to shut up, and it's not happening. So we're just going to have to deal. Sorry if you can hear that. But anyway, let's get into the review. So I want to start off first by saying that I don't consider myself to be a purist. I don't expect a newer version of something or an adaptation of something to be identical to the original source material. Like, when changes are made, I actually kind of like it. It's kind of refreshing, like, oh, I never thought of that. But it has to be well done. So when I watched this movie, I tried to watch it from a perspective of somebody that's never seen the source material, never read the manga, never read the anime, or never read the manga, never watched the anime. I tried to really just take it for what it was, a standalone adaptation of this story. And, you know, it is that. I will give this movie that. It is its own entity. It is its own thing, where it just kind of picks and chooses from the original source material. So I will give it that. It is its own story. It has its own characters. Just basically the overall concept is the same. Now, with that being said, that does not make it good in any way, shape, or form. For me, I think if I had to sum this movie up in one word, it would be rushed. Like, when I went to Netflix and I came home from work and I was super excited, turned on Netflix, I went to where the movie was and saw it was an hour and 40 minutes, and I was like, oh shit. There is a lot, and very dialogue heavy source material to try to shove into an hour and 40-minute movie. Now, I realize that you can cut a lot of the bullshit out, or some of the side characters and things like that, and really condense it down. But when you take, how many seasons are there? I think my box set for Death Note is like 9 discs. So, and when you try to take all of that and just shove it down into an hour and a half, you're gonna lose a lot of what there is to love with that. So I knew that was probably gonna be an issue. I almost kind of wish that they would have made it like maybe like a 6-episode mini series or something like that, where you had like 6 hour-long episodes, or even like 4 or 5. Like, just made it longer, made it a 2-hour movie or 2.5-hour movie, like a full feature. But anyway, I'm not gonna keep rambling on about that. It was so rushed and because of that, there was hardly any character development. I think the thing that I love, and a lot of people love, about the original Death Note series is that you have Light, who I like to identify as our lovable hero. He's somebody that you can identify with and that you like, and you want, like, you know, he's doing horrible, shady shit that he probably isn't doing and is probably still morally wrong, but you still like him, kind of like Dexter, from that TV show that I absolutely love. And then you have L, who is also a genius, but he's super weird and quirky and eccentric, and they just kind of have this like head-to-head battle of the wits. And it's just an awesome psychological thriller. And they kind of just took all of that, tossed it to the side, and just amped up the horror element in the movie. There was a lot of gore, which was well done special effects wise, but not needed. excited, honestly. So there was a lot of gore, and they made Ryuk out to be kind of creepy and demony, which I actually thought was really cool. For me, Ryuk was the star of the movie. Willem Dafoe's voice coming out of him was just magical. When I heard that he was going to be playing Ryuk, I was so freaking excited. And he did an awesome job. And I was super skeptical too about how he was going to look. But the special effects with him looked really awesome. So yeah, all in all, he was the show winner for me. But they even changed his character up a little bit and kind of used him to play into the horror element. And they did start off pretty strong with that horror-esque feel with the way that the movie was, presented from the beginning. So I will say that it did kind of pull those horror elements out of the source material, but it tossed away all of what everybody loved, which is the psychological thriller aspect of it. Instead of it being like a battle of two geniuses, it was basically one character running from the other character. There was really no pursuit. And they also took Misa Amane, who's called Mia in the movie, and kind of swapped her and Light's roles. In the source material, Light is a genius, and he's good looking, and he's a ladies' man, and Misa she's intelligent, but she has this like ultimate fangirl love for Light, and just kind of casts all of that intelligence out the window for him. And they sort of reversed their roles, which can't necessarily be bad, but the way that they did it was not good. They made her kind of the conniving, sneaky one in the movie, but they didn't play up her intelligence. She wasn't any smarter, any better than Light was. So you were still, even with her, the role reversal there, you were still not getting any psychological thriller aspect of it. And there was zero character development in any of these characters. Like I said, when you have Light, who's a lovable hero, and you have Elle, who's crazy as hell, but you still love him, and you like both of these characters, it's kind of like an internal struggle as who you want to win. I didn't have any feelings for any of the characters in this movie. I didn't know, you didn't get any backstory or any information on Light, you didn't get anything on Elle, really. I think you learned the most about Elle, which was still pretty vague, and I didn't even know Mia's last name until the very end of the movie. So there was just absolutely no character development. There was no time for you to actually fall in love with a character and be invested in them and care about what happens to them. I just didn't care. I didn't know anything about these characters going in, and they weren't the same. I will say though, I was super skeptical about the actor that they chose to play Elle. I didn't know how they were going to portray a shut-in type, sleep-deprived genius, crazy-ass genius at that, with the actor that they chose. But he was the best one out of the bunch. Put Ryuk aside, and if you could just take Elle, he was great. The way that he spoke, his demeanor, everything. I was like, oh my god, he's Elle. I was so excited. And then he just falls apart. And it wasn't the actor's fault. He did a great job with what he had, but they took all of these elements and built up this character, and he was the only one that they really put any stock into building up, and then he just falls apart. He goes on this rage spree, which is something that Elle would never do, and it was just crazy. He was just so much angrier and impulsive and things like that, where he's very calm and calculated in the source material, and they presented him that way in the beginning. So I don't know, it was a weird mixture of weirdness for me. I don't really know how to explain it. And they also left the ending very, very vague and open. There was no resolution. When you watch the original anime or read the manga, it has a very clean-cut ending. This is what happens. There's not going to be another one. This is your end. Take it or leave it. But this one, it didn't really have an end. It just kind of stopped. So that kind of gives me the impression that there's going to be a sequel. when you're filming your original movie and you're already planning on making a sequel, develop your characters. Don't rush through all of like the fundamental aspects of your characters. Like, let your audience get to know your characters better. Invest in that a little more instead of trying to rush through all of this story. Slow it down. You're gonna have a sequel, and let it like just develop the plot and the story and the characters a little more, and then you'll have something so much better. And one last thing, which I can give kudos to Netflix for doing, is I think when they made this adaptation of this, that they weren't catering to people like me who love the original series and all that it is. I think that they were catering more to someone that, you know, isn't an anime fan or hasn't read the source material or hasn't watched the anime. And, you know, they did just that. They took everything that was the original anime and just kind of tossed it out the window. But that's not always a bad thing. Just it did not work in this case. I also want to quickly touch on the fact that a lot of people seem to be butthurt and called this movie whitewashed, which I just want to take a minute and say, like, I fucking hate that word. It wasn't true with Ghost in the Shell, and it's not true with this movie. Your main character and your only good character in this movie is African American, and the guy that plays Watari, which they pronounce his name Watari in the movie, and it makes me cringe. But anyway, he was Asian, and you still call this movie whitewashed. It's not. And like I said in the very beginning of this movie, it is an American adaptation. It takes place in America. You can't have a cast of full Asian people in America because this isn't an Asian country. So when you have an adaptation of something, it's not going to be the same. And it's also an American adaptation that takes place in America. So that whole claim that it's whitewashed is just ridiculous. I just wanted to throw that out there. People need to learn what that means, and I think that a lot of the people that are complaining and bitching about whitewashing aren't even Asian to begin with. I did get more into the whitewashing topic in a video I did with my friend Waifu Pancakes. I can link that down below. It's actually about the Ghost in the Shell movie, but the same thing applies here. People just need to stop being butthurt about things like that and move on with their lives and find another cause to get behind, because that ship has sailed. Was the movie terrible? No, I wouldn't say it was absolutely terrible. Would I watch it again? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I don't think my life would be any less complete if I didn't watch it ever again. But yeah, just, it was a letdown. I think that is the thing. I think it was a letdown. But I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about when it comes to this topic. Let me know if you guys have watched this movie and what you thought about it in the comments down below. If you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend that you head on over to Netflix and check it out, and see what you thought for yourselves. And then once you do, come back and let me know what your thoughts are. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys!